Hey, and welcome back to Coffee with Laura. I am Laura, of course. And today I have a really great topic, and it's about why diets don't work. I have been up 20 pounds, down 20 pounds, up 20 pounds, down 20 pounds for so many years of my life, and it was so frustrating, especially because as a health expert, I'm supposed to be teaching people, and I wasn't even able to follow it myself. And it's because there's so many elements within diets that aren't taken into consideration. And it wasn't until I got into coaching that even I really became clear about that. And I have multiple nutrition certifications. I know a lot about what you need to know about food and what to eat in order to lose weight. But what I wanted to be able to understand is a lifestyle. And diets and lifestyles are not the same thing. Because here's the thing. Diets take into consideration certain similarities. What to eat, right? You normally get an eat this, don't eat that list, which only makes you want to eat the non-stuff more. When to eat in terms of frequency and maybe timing, or not timing, I'm sorry, how to cook foods. So that's it. But being healthy, like the state of being healthy, it's not just about the food. So when I think of what being healthy is, there's a few things like, yes, food goes into it, but movement, fitness/movement, depending on how you want to, think about it in your brain, but I definitely think of it as movement in general, sleep, stress, hydration, and rest. Those to me are really the 6 components that make up health. So when you're going on a diet to try and be healthier or lose weight, you're looking at 1, maybe 2 of 6. No wonder people bounce back, because you're looking at change, like a change in behavior. And if anyone can talk about anything, like think about when you have to move. That is so stressful on so many people because there's a lot of change involved, and our brain doesn't really like change because it has a fear of that, like you're being threatened. But how can people expect to lose weight, keep it off, find that lifestyle when they're eating a specific way that doesn't feel satisfying, that they don't get to have a lot of the foods that they love, or they don't know how to balance their life? It's just going to be an up and down roller coaster, which is just going to make you, oh, I feel great, I love how I look, to, oh, I hate how I look, I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm not good enough. And that's the whole problem. And that's what diets don't take into consideration. There's certain things, like let's start with sleep and rest, because they kind of are similar. We actually lose most of our weight at night. And when are we the most rested? That's right, at night, when we're asleep and our brain can't be like, ah. So we live in this culture where we perceive our worthiness or our value based on our output, how much stuff we got done in a day. And, I noticed this really early when I started my journaling practice. I was trying to write down what I was proud of myself for every day. And for the first month, when I reflected and I looked at it, every single day had something to do with how I spent my time, because obviously time and money are 2 of the most valuable things that we have. And if I felt like I had used my time efficiently, that was something I was proud of. Doesn't minimize it, but I was attaching my worthiness. I'm good enough. I feel like this was a good day based on the fact that I used my time efficiently. But there are some days where I meditate, or I go for a walk, or I'll literally sit on the couch and watch, ideally, 3 hours of TV, but that hasn't been for a while. And who's to say that that's not an accomplished day too, because life is about balance, and we need to prioritize a space for rest, especially because we're attaching so much of our enoughness, our worthiness, to doing and being busy. And that's a whole different thing, busy versus productive. To me, the main difference is how you're being while you're doing. When you're busy, you're stressed, you feel that urgency. When you're productive, you're calm and you're getting the same amount of stuff done. You just aren't feeling the urgency. You're leaning into faith of yourself and trust. But I have multiple clients who struggle with this, and I'm absolutely guilty of it myself, where I have a hard time taking downtime, prioritizing rest, because there's always a million things that you can do. But in the eye of being healthy, rest is a crucial point. And ultimately, when we have so many things to do in a day, we're like, I don't have time for a 2 or 10 minute break. And what I say to my clients is, well, do you go to the restroom? Do you ever poop? And of course they do. And I'm like, do you feel guilty about that? They're like, no. And I'm like, if you have time to poop, then you have time that you can actually take for yourself as well. And then let's go to sleep. That's one of the first things that people sacrifice when they have so much stuff. But sleep is so important for our brain and our body health, because it's how our body actually restores itself. And I don't remember the specific name of the system within our brain, but they've recently learned that there's a system within our brain that works only when we're asleep at actually repairing so much of our tissue and damage throughout the day, done largely by stress. So if you're not sleeping, you're going to have a really hard time being healthy and losing weight. So that's just rest. Let's talk hydration. If you don't like water, which I used to hate water, it means you probably have a little bit of a sugar addiction, because our palate changes based on how much sugar we take in, and even a little bit how much salt. But normally this has to do with sugar. When I didn't drink a lot of water, I would have Diet Coke all the time. And what ultimately got me to water was I switched from Diet Coke to Propel. And then I got sick of that taste. And then that started to taste good because I was off as much sugar. Now I drink a ton of water. So if you're having a hard time drinking water, try minimizing some of your sugar, and then you actually will get that kind of refreshing taste and desire water. But when it comes to hydration, our body needs about 2 gallons of water in a day. Now, hold on, don't get too overwhelmed yet. One of those gallons comes from food. Yeah, it's only 1 gallon. I know that's still a lot to work up to, not try and get all at once, but similar to the world, our body is predominantly water. So when we don't drink enough water, our body knows that we can get water from food. And that's why thirst and hunger signals can kind of get swapped in our brain. And we can think we're hungry when really we're thirsty and consume more calories than we actually need to, instead of actually giving our body what it wants, which is water. So that's one of the main reasons why hydration is so, so important when it comes to being healthy, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Stress. I feel like I could do months and months and months about stress, but it really has to do with our blood flow. And stress is not our enemy. And that's really important that we think about it in a different light, because if we think of it as a curse or as our enemy, then we're resisting a part of something that's in us that has helped us survive, that isn't going to go anywhere, which is ultimately leading to more stress, making it harder for us to get to that restorative space. Because when we are stressed, our blood is in our limbs and a specific part of our brain for quick thinking and movement to survive. But for heart health, for gut health, for immune health, for health, you're looking at a balance. The only time we should actually be in our stress response is when our life is threatened, technically. Now, that's not going to be a reality. I'm not suggesting that. But 98% of our stress is self-inflicted, largely due to how we resist our reality of what's going on. The project isn't where we want it to be. The plan didn't go the way we wanted it. My body doesn't look the way I want it to. My boyfriend or husband didn't do what I wanted him to do. Whatever, it's ultimately where wants conflict with reality in my mind. But this constant need for worthiness that we're outsourcing based on accomplishments and busyness all have stress linked to it based on how you're thinking. Now, I'm not saying everyone. Obviously, there are some people who have done the work and have been able to breathe through their stress. And if you haven't, I strongly encourage you to visit my website, because I have a lot of helpful I have a whole page of just freebies, and you can use some of those tools. But stress can be the deciding factor whether you lose weight or not. I have multiple clients who did my program, continued to do my program, something changed in their life, new job, new partner, you name it. And within a month, they dropped all the weight that they should have from the beginning of the program. And if we don't manage our mind around stress, which brings it back to rest, going back to the first one, then you could eat perfectly and it won't matter, which is why my actual main group program is called Stress-Free Healthy Me, because I want to teach people how to be healthy and not stress out about it. Because here's the most annoying part. And I did this for at least a decade, maybe two, where I would stress out about how my body looked, making it harder for me to get to the body I wanted. So it's a counterintuitive mechanism, which is boo. So that's rest, hydration, sleep, and stress. Food, we've kind of talked about throughout all the other Coffee with Laura's. If you haven't watched them, I encourage you to. Movement, and I encourage you to think of it as movement, not just exercise, does more than just help you physically stay strong and functional. The neurons and the hormones that are delivered in your brain, it is so important for mental health. And when you think about people who are depressed, the best thing for them to do and the hardest thing for them to do is exercise. Because being able to teach your brain how to release the type of serotonin and dopamine, the things that we really crave that bring us those happy feelings, vibes, it's very, very hard when you're stuck in a negative rut and ultimately very, very depressed. So if it means you get on the ground and you stretch for 2 minutes, that's a win. And if you go for a walk, enjoy that. Have a mini dance party. And if you enjoy exercise. And if you don't, try to move your body in a way that you do enjoy exercise, because being healthy is about building the right habits for you in the long run so that you will have for generations and generations to come. But you can't do that all at once, because your brain's going to be like, oh my God, this is so much change. And it's going to shut down and be like, nope, I don't want any of that. So that's what diets don't talk about. They tell you you have to work out for an hour. And if you have a really busy job and a really busy job and family life, for instance, it's hard to figure out where to find the time. You feel like you're sacrificing time with your family, or you aren't getting as much work done. And if your worthiness is attached to your work, well, then you're not good enough. And that's a whole different bag of worms. They don't talk about the importance of sleep. They don't talk about the importance of stress and rest. I mean, some of them talk about a little bit of hydration. They might encourage it, but diets are about like, here are things you can do that will make you lose weight. Does it work? If you stick to it, yeah. Does it stick? No. 98% of people gain the weight back that they lose from a diet within 6 months of stopping the diet. Because a diet, literally, when you think of a diet, you know there's an end date. I'm doing this for my sister's wedding. I'm doing it for the holidays. What I'm talking about is a lifestyle, a state of being. And these are all the elements. And that's really what coaching does, is it goes into the behaviors, your conditioning. It teaches you how to work through and rewire your brain so that you aren't emotionally pulled towards food when you're stressed and then, feel guilty and sabotage yourself and have all that negative self-talk, which increases the cortisol, which is your stress hormone, making it harder for you to lose weight. Do you see how frustrating it is? So if you have been on the diet roller coaster, as I was for at least a decade, and you're looking for a way to just be healthy, like the state of being healthy, these are the different avenues you need to look at and consider. And if you're serious, because I know the holidays are right around the corner, I strongly encourage you to click the link in my bio, because I have some amazing year-end offers. One of them is a discount on my main program, the Stress-Free Healthy Me, which is a 6-month program. Talk about a total life behavior change, but it's 6 months for decades to come. That includes the behavior change, the mindset change, the food change, and the fitness change. And we talk about sleep, rest, and hydration within there. But it it has all of the elements that really encompass the state of being healthy. And it's 6 months because I don't want to cause stress. I want to allow you to work with yourself where you are. And this program is going to be launching in January. So if you are serious about becoming healthy, I strongly, strongly encourage you to click the link in my bio, go to the discount, have a free session with me, learn how your behaviors are keeping you stuck, because you're not the problem. There's just a lot of factors that people haven't really told you about. And if you really want to change so you can just be and not have to worry about it, that's what this program does. But that is all I have for you today. I hope that this was enlightening and that you can see how if you've done a diet and you've gained and you've lost and you've gained and you lost, you've done the whole roller coaster thing, it's because there's information you didn't know. And now that you know it, I hope that you use some resources. I hope that you reach out to people for help, build a community, which is ultimately what my group program does, which is my favorite thing about it. But whatever you choose, do it because you love yourself and you want to be able to be healthy without hating yourself. But I appreciate you tuning in and watching, and I will see you next week, same time, same place, for Coffee with me, Laura. Bye.